Beyond the podcast of 1984. Beyond the podcast of 1984. Beyond the podcast of 1984.
This is the Bizarre Alien, and you're listening to, this is the third episode of Beyond the Podcast of 1984. The whole theme for this episode is, what defines me as a person, and why do I call myself the Bizarre Alien? I mean, my real name is Charles. Duh, obviously people know me. If you know me, you know my real name. So, some people, believe it or not, only ever know me as BCA, Bizarre Charlie Alien. I've been using this nickname since 1988. Anyways, so before I go on about, this theme, so-called theme of this episode, and I will calm down, like I said, it just really ticks me off because I keep playing it back to make sure it's actually recording. Yay, and I got to charge these batteries again, too, which is fine. Anyhow, so every year, I don't make New Year's resolutions. I used to, and then I realized that I barely ever did anything. I think the best thing to do in life, if you're trying to get things done, don't even plan it out. Even writing it down, to me, at least for me personally, is a waste of time. So long story short, I just wrote and sent off 2 letters, one to one of my aunts and one to one of my uncle, and because they had sent me a Christmas card. And in the past, like I was saying originally, when you're a kid, grandma, grandpa, whoever sends you a gift, I'll write them a nice letter. Oh my God, that's a beautiful woman. Sorry. I'll get the arts channel playing in the background, and there's this quite beautiful woman singing opera. She's very beautiful. I actually have this channel usually playing in the background when I'm working on art or something because I enjoy the music. And, oh, wow. This is my show, so I can do what I want, say what I want. Wow, she's beautiful. Oh my God. Okay, anyways, I'm going to quit looking at the screen. When you're a kid, write a letter, thank you for the gifts. And we used to do that. And that goes to another episode that I definitely am going to be doing in the very near future about my grandma and grandpa. A lot of it will be about my grandma, who is still the coolest, most wonderful lady I've ever met in my life. Just awesome lady. And she really inspired me, and it's kind of helped define kind of who I am, and that's what tonight's theme is. But anyways, getting back to, doing stuff. I used to have a bad habit of writing but notes to myself, like, let's see, like things I need to do, and a lot of times I don't. So I'm just like, just freaking do it. If you got the time and you're there, just do it. Whatever you got to do. You got to work on art, don't think about it, just freaking do it. I mean, as cheesy as that saying, just do it, I agree with it, just freaking do it, man. Anyways, I did that, and I've got a whole bunch of stuff I want to do, but I'm just trying to tell myself, just freaking do it. It's like, I want to do a new comic, and I keep thinking about it, but I don't know, the whole thing about when you're going to be in the right mood, that's just a bunch of crap. Just freaking do it, man. It's like anything else, just do it. That's all you gotta do, man. So, anyways, the theme for this episode is kind of defining myself. Why, I call myself the Bizarre Alien, first of all, because I don't really feel like I really fit in. I never have. I'm incompatible to a lot of stuff. I'm not a party guy. I hate bars. I don't go to shows much anymore at all. I haven't been to a show in like years. I haven't even played a show in years. I actually don't really care right now. I really don't care. I kind of want to play a show again, but the kind of show I'd like to do is something crazy. I'm tired of, I hate clubs. I hate bars, all that crap. I think it's all bland. It's just click bullshit. And anyways, so I'm just trying to do stuff with my life. But I'd say, being who I am, I would consider myself definitely an individual. I'm not great. I'm not horrible. I think I'm an A-okay person. I've tried to better myself as a person for myself, and just, oh, wowee. Yeah, this is just cool. This woman is very beautiful. I'm going to find out who she is. She is beautiful. She's singing this really nice opera. She's in this massive orchestra. But, I'm definitely in my own world. I don't date. I don't care about any of that crap. I gave up on all that, like, quite a while ago, and I don't just who cares? Dating, all that garbage, marriage. I just, to each their own, man. I'm kind of going off on a tangent. That's not what this is supposed to be about. I want to find out who this lady is real fast, and then I'll get right back to this episode, I swear, okay? So it's like some big show. This is cool, very cool music. Nice conductor. So, like I was saying, I've been in my own world since I was a kid. I've spent a lot of time alone. A lot of people don't like to be alone. They like to hang out with people. They like to have girlfriends or girl boyfriends or, boyfriends and boyfriends, girlfriends, or whatever. I've been in my own world, man. And I always got to think movies. Movies are at the very top. Movies and music have really helped me and gotten me through terrible, terrible times in my life of depression and wanting to snuff it. But I started out, the first thing I saw that really blew me away was seeing Star Wars in 1977. I was 6 years old. And then, of course, I got babysat by the television. My mom had a job, but my brother and sister would get babysit. I'd come home. I think I was 9. So I'd watch Star Trek every day, the original Star Trek, obviously. I mean, this is way back. And then, of course, I got into Battlestar Galactica. I loved Buck Rogers, the Logan's Run TV series, which, yes, people like to argue me that there wasn't. Yes, there was. There was a Logan's Run TV series. I used to watch that. I used to watch another show called The Phoenix. Actually, I used to watch that with my mom and my stepdad. It was my other stepdad. But anyways, so science fiction was my first big love, and I really loved it. And it's so funny that people, you're a nerd, and say, yeah, I am. What are you going to do about it, asshole? I am a freaking nerd. I don't care. If you want to call me a nerd, you come into my house, you're probably thinking, Jesus, was it some kid live here? Yeah. I mean, I'm all over the place, but science fiction was my first big thing. And then, of course, I slowly got into horror. And the first horror movie I did see was in 1974, Texas Chainsaw Massacre at a drive-in theater. Anyways, that's my all-time favorite horror film. And then, of course, later on, I saw movies. Actually, I didn't see that one until much, much later. Not Evil Dead. I saw Evil Dead in 82 when it was, quote-unquote, hot new VHS release, and I freaking love that. It's probably my second favorite horror film of all time. And, of course, The Thing, Alien, and later on, I love Aliens, even though it's more of an action film, but it's freaking great, But, I mean, sci-fi like The Black Hole, Tron, got into fantasy stuff like Dragon Slayer. Of course, I'm a huge fan of Excalibur. That's not really fantasy, but of course, I'm sure some people might call it fantasy. There's definitely some elements of fantasy in it. But anyways, all that stuff was my early love. Of course, I'm just kind of rambling here, but the Flash Gordon movie that came out in 1980 is still one of my all-time favorite movies. I freaking love that movie so much. Conan the Barbarian, and then Shogun Assassin. I saw that on television. That, of course, people already, if you know what I'm talking about, if you know what that is, that's Lone Wolf and Cub. It's the first two movies cut up into one movie. They just took a bunch of different scenes, and then they made it into one movie and dubbed it in. And completely different, weird, very cool, moody, weird soundtrack and pretty cool dubbing. I actually own an old import DVD of that. I love that freaking movie, but I love Lone Wolf and Cub. I mean, I've got the old DVD box set of that, all 6 films, and I could go into a whole thing about samurai films. But anyways, so, when I was a kid, I started seeing a lot of action movies, and of course, my uncle, who I would like to thank for getting me into stuff like Vampirella, The Rook, Eerie, Creepy, all those, Warren Publication stuff, which is great. And then, of course, I liked House of Mystery, I like Ghost Manor, and there's a whole bunch of other weird, just really weird horror comics that I got into. Of course, Creepy was a big, big inspiration. I freaking love Creepy. I was going to say, but, and then later on down the road, I got into Red Sonja. I didn't get into manga until several years later. I was 19, I think. It was Outlanders, which definitely massive influence, inspiration, the big, big, big revelation in my life for personal reasons. But, all that stuff. And then, of course, Superman was my first big hero, and I still love Superman. Just Christopher Reeve, rest in peace, one of the greatest of all time. Love Henry Cavill, too. But, of course, the old original Superman series is pretty cool, even though I've honestly never seen a whole lot. But, just Superman's awesome. I wanted to be him when I was a kid. I used to walk around the neighborhood with, a cape on, pretend like I was Superman. It was fun. But, all that stuff just kind of defined me because I spent a lot of time alone. I didn't really have any friends. I'd have throughout periods of my life, I'd have one really, really good friend and maybe a few other friends here and there. I had my friend William Jones when I lived in Airway Heights. And then later on, my friend Wayne, rest in peace, dude. Big time inspiration for me doing voices and wanting to do comedy and stuff. Thank you, brother. Rest in peace. Again, I know I just said that, but rest in peace, buddy. And then my best friend, Mike DeMute, who also passed away. I miss you very much, guy. We were starting to do comedy and doing music together, and he was just one of the sweetest, most wonderful people I've ever known in my life, and a very funny dude. We complimented each other with weirdness, and I miss you a lot, man. But I've always, I like costumes and stuff. I collect, what I call post-apocalypse stuff, because, Mad Max 2 is my favorite movie of all time. Over everything. And, there's movies that I absolutely love, but that is number one. Mad Max 2, The Road Warrior. I freaking love that movie. I have a lot of stuff at home, I have a hockey mask. I spray painted black. I've got all these shoulder pads and hockey gear. Just, Road Warrior looking, like the bad guys in The Road Warrior. Anyways, and I've been drawing on and off since I was a kid. I actually just did a comic, and I don't know what that has to do with me defining myself, but no, I still love comic books. I need to read more. I need to actually go back to the comic book shop because there's a bunch of stuff waiting for me to plan on doing soon. So sorry, guys, I will be back. But, just everything that I've gotten into in my life has been a big inspiration. And, if you want to call me a nerd, I don't care. I mean, my place looks like a little kid lives there. I've got tons of movies, action figures, just random stuff. A lot of comic books, but I've just always loved that stuff, and I've never been embarrassed or anything. I mean, the only time that I felt I did something really stupid is for a while there, I quit listening to my 80s pop and all my hard rock, stuff that I like Poison and Cinderella, Motley Crue, and even beloved Twisted Sister. And I went through this phase, and I didn't listen to any of that stuff for a few years, and I thought I was real heavy, and what a joke. And that's one thing that I really happy that I did is I got out of that because it's who cares? Because I remember hanging out with the guy Kelly from, was it Detestation, I think, from Portland. We were hanging out one day at a show. I was supposed to play the show with Brother to Stench, and I got there I think it was a half an hour, 20 minutes, whatever, after they got done playing because I couldn't find the address. I didn't know where it was. Anyways, I found it on the South Hill, and I missed the show, and I was bummed out. But anyways, because I was supposed to play, but anyways, so he and I were hanging out. We were talking about music, and he was talking about all these bands he liked, and I was really surprised. I was wow, it's kind of like a crust punk, hardcore guy, and he was talking about a lot of metal he liked, and I started thinking, I'm like, what, why? And he didn't even care. He's just talking about what he likes. Well, one day I was hanging out with my friend, my roommate now, but my friend Jared, we were recording some Darth Maul stuff. And I decided to turn the radio on, and Flock of Seagulls, I Ran played. I'm like, oh, wow. And just right then and there, I was like, I hadn't heard that song in years. I was just like, I don't care anymore. I'm going to listen to what I like, and I don't really care if people like it or not. I'm not going to be embarrassed or nothing. So next day, I went to Little Nell's Records, and I bought The Doors' Greatest Hits double LP, about Pink Floyd Animals, Men Without Hats, Rhythm of Youth. Can't remember what else I got. I don't know if that was the day I bought Plasmatics Butcher Baby 12-inch, but anyways, I got that there. I still have it. In fact, I was looking at it the other night. Anyhow, that's one thing about myself is I don't care. It's I like what I like, and that's the thing. No, it's you're going to die one day. I have no quote-unquote guilty pleasures. I think that's one of the stupidest things. It's I'm guilty of liking something. I don't have any guilty pleasures. I like what I like, and I don't care. I don't have any shame. When I was a kid, I was a real dork. Kind of hyperactive. I sometimes do get kind of hyperactive even now. My kid Taz is definitely hyper. He gets all hyper and he starts hissing and kind of goes crazy. I'm kind of like that. And I'm trying to chill out, man, but I'm also not apologizing for being me, and I'm not perfect. And I have no shame. I like what I like. And if you don't, that's fine. I listen to a lot of different music. I don't care. I like everything from 80s pop. I like some techno. I like some ambient. I like some trance. I couldn't name any trance bands, but you know what I mean. I like some industrial and a lot different metal. I can't just say heavy metal, but some death metal and some grindcore and speed metal, a little bit of maybe some prog metal. I like some prog rock, but I like a lot of I like some J-pop, earlier J-pop. I like some Japanese, some really super Japanese hard rock and metal. I can't even name the bands, and I'm not talking about Loudness, who I love. Was it Thunder in the East is like one of the greatest like Japanese heavy metal albums of all time. I freaking love that. That album kicks my ass. But I'm talking about like more like obscure, like these beautiful women on stage wearing a cape and lovely dress and out there singing, and I don't even know what they're saying, but the music is really majestic and melodic and just it's so good. Of course, like there's a lot of kick-ass Japanese noise and hardcore and punk and stuff. Definitely. I mean, my favorite Japanese band is Jism and the Stalin. Those are my two absolute favorites. And Hydro Kaiden is definitely my favorite noise band from over there. And I love, CCCC, Incapacitants. I like MSBR is great. They're still great. Rest in peace, Mr. Tano. I hope I pronounced it Tano, Koji Tano, Tano. My God, I can't even think right now. But Building of Gel and Killer Bug, and the guy that does Killer Bug is really cool. Endo, I can't remember his name right now, so I have to apologize. But anyways, I'm all over the place with a lot of music. I like some rap. I love like Too Short, Two Live Crew, NWA. I like Public Enemy. I love the first Beastie Boys rap album because they used to be like a punk band. License to Ill is like I love that album. Motorhead. I love Venom. I love Twisted Sister. I mean, there's a lot of music. I love Kiss. I like a lot of some of their 80s stuff. Prefer earlier Kiss, but I like the 80s stuff, and I like some of the stuff in the 90s, too. I like Psycho Circus. I don't care. I like what I like. I saw Kiss a couple years ago. It was one of the coolest shows I've ever been to in my life, and I don't care. Oh, it's not two of the original guys. It's like, whatever. I could go on a tangent about that.
You're still afraid?
Stop it now! I mean it!
He's coming to get you, Barbara.
Stop it! You're ignorant!
He's coming for you, Barbara.
Stop it! You're acting like a
He's
child!
coming for you. Look, here he comes.
Now he'll hear you!
Here he comes now. I'm getting out of here, BCA. Tune in to BCA's Podcast Weekly on Beyond the Podcast of 1984. BTP 1984.com. Beyond the Podcast of 1984.
Beyond the Podcast of 1984.
I wouldn't want to work with people that have drug problems, alcoholism either. It's like, that's what happens, unfortunately. Anyways, so much good music. And, my 80s hard rock and so-called glam. I hate to say glam rock because real glam rock, is like T-Rex and the New York Dolls and all. But you know what I mean? Hard rock glam, like the first Poison album. And I don't mind some Faster Pussycat. I love the first Cinderella album. I already mentioned it twice, but I'm a huge Twisted Sister fan. I love everything by those guys. Everything from the 70s, last album that they did. I love them. Huge fan. SMF for life, buddy. SMF since 1984. And, there's bands like, death metal. You want to talk about, like, my favorite is probably Impetigo, and I love Mortician. I like Cannibal Corpse. I love early Slayer. I already said Venom, but the first, I don't know. I like everything from Venom. I like some of Calm Before the Storm, but excuse me, Welcome to Hell and Black Metal. And I like Possessed is just an odd album, but I like that one. And of course, the band Possessed, Seven Churches. What's up, Mr. Becerra? You rule, dude. Jim Becerra is awesome, but Possessed, Seven Churches. I love an early Creator. I like some Destruction. Excuse me, sorry about that. I keep belching. Lots and lots of stuff, man. But what else? I don't know. Like I said, I draw comics off and on. I just finished one. I did like tribute, homage / parody of The Thing. I call it the WTF Monster. We're going to get that printed soon. I'm really excited about it, but I'm a huge John Carpenter fan. Love just about everything he's done. A couple movies I don't care for, but I'll get into that. I'm going to do a John Carpenter episode sometime. But no, I don't know. Some people think I'm really weird. I've had some people think I'm creepy. I've even had people like say, dude, hey, just want to say hi, and, sorry to be a dick. I used to think you were just kind of an asshole, and then you're actually a cool guy. And I'm like, wow, gee, thanks. But, that's cool. I appreciate when people are at least honest, like, well, yeah, give me a chance if you don't even know me. And I'm sure some people thought I was a creep. Like, I've had girls that think I'm a serial killer. They've actually said that to other people, and then I hear about it. Oh, because he's just quiet, kind of weird and creepy. It's like, yeah, because I don't know you, because I'm shy, all right? I've always been shy. It's like, oh, yeah, they say when you're a kid, you're shy, you get older, you get out of it. No, you don't. At least I didn't. I'm still kind of shy. I don't go anywhere. Like I said, I don't go to bars. There's what parties? Last time some people asked me if I want to hang out with them, I was like, no offense, I had to work. These girls are all beautiful. But it's like, sorry, I got to work, and they were all nice girls or women. But it doesn't really matter because, whatever. I was born alone. I'm going to die alone. It doesn't matter. I'm just kind of like in my own world, and that's fine. Bad women think I'm weird. I'm like, good, I don't really care. And some apparently have liked me. Supposedly they saw me online, or they heard about me and they're like, oh, this guy's cool. But it's like, yeah, well, I've never met you. I'm flattered though. I've had some weird situations with some girls, and I've always liked girls. I don't really want to get into a whole thing about this because it would just go into a tangent, a rant, and not necessarily a bad rant, but like with me, everybody knows I've got a dream girl. I love her. I've loved her for a long, long time, and she came into my mind and my heart back in, I think it was 91. And she's very special to me, and I'm actually I'm not physically working on it, but I'm kind of taking notes, putting them in my head. But I am definitely going to do an episode about my dream lady, and it's going to be called Who the is Ginger? And no, I'm not censoring myself. I actually would like to call it that. I think it's funny. Like maybe, I don't know, maybe Tim, you could put like a beep or something. Who the is Ginger? So long story short, because she kind of defines me who I am, is, I don't have a quote-unquote real girlfriend. I don't really care. I'm in my own world, and I want to talk about her, and if you think I'm crazy, I really don't care. I don't care, because life is too short. I'm going to die one day. You're going to die one day. We're all going to die one day. He died. She died. They died. They all died. Duh. Big deal. She keeps me from feeling so lonely, because I feel very lonely sometimes. And it sucks, but at the same time, I'm like, whatever, that's life. And I don't even know where I'm headed to with this episode. It's supposed to be what defines the bizarre alien. Well, everything that I'm into, it kind of helps define me. And for those who don't know, my buddy Tim here was starting on a documentary about me in May of 2005. I'm really hoping that we'll get going on it again. But I mean, I don't think even if we did get it going, let's say we finish it, I don't think there's really even an ending, because a lot of endings of documentaries usually end in, the guy, he's a lonely guy, he gets a girl at the end. Well, you know what? I probably will not. I've already got her in my mind and my heart and my dreams. That's probably as far as I'll go. And, maybe that sounds lame, but oh well. Anyways, so that whole thing was just kind of like about my life and my band, the Earwigs. And I've been in a bunch of other bands too, but, the Earwig sort of defines me, too. The whole sci-fi, alien, mutant, robot, outer space, anime-inspired, as I call it, alien noise destruction music. I'm in my own world, man. And this is how I've always been. I used to get bullied a lot in high school. So, just like when I was a kid, especially growing up, I would have like one great friend here and there. I'd hang out with it. But a lot of times I spent a lot of time alone, and I actually liked it. I still like doing it. I love to just almost nothing more than sitting in my room with my cats, lights off. Of course, I can't really say that anymore. I used to say, with some beer and potato chips. Well, actually, I can't really. I do not drink. I haven't drank now in probably, almost a month because of stage 1 diabetes. So that does not mix with pills very well. And potato chips, I haven't bought any in a while now. They're too much salt, so I'm kind of boring. Oh, so what was my point? So basically, sitting in my room, okay, let's reiterate that. Sitting in my room with the lights off, watching a crazy, cool, weird movie or some Japanese animation or something, and drinking some sparkling flavored water, and yeah, that's about it. I don't eat popcorn, no salt on it. I don't like salt much anyways. But, I'm kind of happy doing that. And I'm just not, like I said earlier, I'm not a party guy. Or did I don't know if that was in the original episode I was trying to do, they got cut off. But anyways, yeah, I have never really felt the urge like, oh man, I'm going to have a girlfriend, or I got to go, do this. I got to go to a party. I got to hang out with a bunch of people. I don't like hanging out with a lot of people. I mean, I've done comedy. People are like, well, yeah, but you played shows. I'm like, yeah, well, that's like a defined audience. It's a defined audience. It's like a comedy, which is usually a bunch of drunks, which I've noticed. Fortunately, all the alcoholism in the comedy world is like, well, I could see why. Because when I was doing comedy, I had to drink a lot just to get courage, and I was really terrified. And I haven't done it in years now, and I don't really care if I probably won't. But you never know, I might try to do it again. So I'm just sitting here, and yeah, so if you know me, you know what I'm into. That kind of defines me as an individual, and like the whole thing with having, call myself the bizarre alien, because obviously I feel like I'm in my own world. I always have. When I go to sleep, almost every night, I'm not laying in my bed. I'm on a spaceship lying next to my beautiful dream lady. And I just imagine we're like cruising through space. And it's a wonderful feeling. And sometimes it almost feels real that she's really there. And it's pretty amazing. And I've had dreams about her. But ever since I was a kid, I think with just some of the crap I dealt with too. But really getting into music. Music was actually the first thing that I really got into. It was kind of my escape. I'd just sit in my room with the headphones on, and I'd read and I'd listen to music. And I love music. I have a lot of music and noise and stuff in my collection. I love that stuff. It makes me happy. If you want to call it a safety net, I don't know. I wouldn't call it a safe space. I think that's stupid. But because it has nothing to do with, well, it kind of has to do with getting away from assholes and bullies. But, I'm just so used to it. I'm so used to the years of being by myself that it's normal for me. And I've enjoyed doing this, and I'm happy that I'm recording a new episode. So we'll probably have like total, 6 episodes, and then while these are all being edited, I'll just do some more. And will the show be coherent? I don't know. Is it coherent enough for you? Probably not. I've got ideas for upcoming episodes. I'm definitely going to be doing one about Mad Max 2. And I don't think I can spend like 40 minutes talking just about that. I mean, I'll probably mention other post-apocalypse films that I love, because I've got a bunch I really like. I love, actually. I'll be doing more about horror films, probably do a special about my movie collection, because I'm a dork. Talk about toys, talk about comic books. Of course, my dream, my beautiful girl, I'll be talking about her. I'll be talking about girls in another episode, because I got some weird stories. And I'm not going to name any of these like ladies, but I think they're just kind of funny. They're just stuff I want to talk about, because I am just a dork. And, it's funny too, because think about all that kind of crap. When I was a kid, I thought, when I grow up, I'm going to get married and have kids and live in a big house. Well, I live in a house that's kind of big, but I don't know for how much longer. I don't have kids, unless you count my cats. I don't have an actual girlfriend. I've never been married. I don't bother, man. That's the thing. I don't really bother. What's the point? I mean, I've had girls hit on me. I've had girls that have liked me. And that's kind of going away from the theme, but I think now I'm just kind of killing time here. Let me see what time it is. Yeah, I'm just kind of boring. That's why I like shows like podcasts that have like a couple people talking, because they can feed off each other. But I'm planning on episodes with different friends, because I think they have interesting things to say. And I won't take too much of a step back. I'll talk about crap too, but let them have a lot to say and, talk about their lives and stuff. But yeah, I'm kind of zoned out. It's God, I don't even know what time it is. It's 1:45, I think. I got some classical music playing in the background. It's very cool. I'm just a slob, kind of thinning out. I'm wearing newer glasses I got last June. I'm wearing Crocs. I know some people make fun of Crocs. I don't care. They're comfortable. Anyways, I'm feeling okay. I'm just trying to, get through life, trying to get stuff done. I'm planning on a new comic book, a new story. With one of my characters. I do a new Son of Gein comic sometime. I'd actually like to just take a bunch of my old Son of Geins and just re-release it as one big collection. Sometime down the road, I'd love to put out I found a bunch of my old comics, and they're really horrible. They're from 88, and they're really, really cheesy. But I'm kind of proud of them, because I really tried. So, and I got 2 other comic books I've never released I want to put out sometime. I got a Featherhead comic, and then another one. It's kind of like my old Xenomorph comics, but it's I don't even know what it's called. But my brain is just like, duh. Hope that if you're listening to this, you're still with me. If you're enjoying it, hope you people out there, I'm sure we'll set it up that you could send me emails or comments or whatever. If you hate it, that's fine. If you like it, that's cool. If you love it, that's great. But yeah, did I even mention that I called myself the Bizarre Alien because I was trying to come up with a name kind of like Weird Al Yankovic? I don't know if I even said that. That might have been an episode that got screwed up. Anywho, as a repeat real fast, that's why I came up with the name. I was Bizarre Charlie for a while. Well, first I was Chainsaw Charlie. Then I found out that the guy that does Rancid Hellspawn is called Chainsaw Charlie. So, out of respect, I came up with something different. I was thinking about an old magazine. I think it was called Bizarre Adventures. And so I was Bizarre Charlie for a while. And then Ginger came along in my mind, Ginger Alien. And I was like, I'm going to add the word alien to it, even though I consider myself like a mutant. I feel like an alien too, but I hope you think I'm nuts. I hope people think I'm crazy, and I don't really care. I hope you do. But I will never change who and what I am. I'm me, and that's all there is to it, God, now I'm kind of rambling here. So I think this episode is probably going to be over in a moment. But yeah, okay, actually it is. So I have a whole bunch of episodes planned with themes. I'm going to start actually writing down notes so I kind of make sense. But if I don't make sense, that's the power that I have. It's kind of like the Force, except it's not super powerful. It's just kind of dumb. So anyhow, I think that's about it. This has been Bizarre Charlie Alien. You've been listening to Beyond the Podcast in 1984. And I hope wherever you are, however you are, you're doing good. Take care of yourself. Stay sick. Take care. Don't forget to change your underwear. And as always, keep the fill and keep watching the skies. And we'll see you next time, unless you see us first. Toodle-doo.
Beyond the Podcast of 1984. Beyond the Podcast of 1984. Beyond the Podcast of 1984.
What is this?
It's Beyond the Podcast of 1984.
Well? Oh.
It's just BCA.
Better not be. I warn you, for many years, I have been training as an acrobat. Know a lot of tricks.
Well, then show us on btp1984.com.
Of course I wouldn't. Hey! Well.
BCA finds it very hilarious. Maybe you could tune in and listen to the show, btp1984.com.
Sure. What do you think I am? A fake?
Are you a diehard fan of Beyond the Podcast of 1984? Do you want to show off your love for the podcast in style? Well, look no further. Introducing our exclusive podcast merch line. From t-shirts that will make you the envy of all your alien friends, to hats that will keep you looking freaky while repping your favorite podcast. We've got everything you need to take your Beyond the Podcast of 1984 fandom to the next level. So don't wait. Head to btp1984.com now and grab yourself some podcast merch before it's all gone. And remember, wearing BCA's merch will automatically make you funnier and more attractive. Get your Beyond the Podcast of 1984 merch today and join BCA's podcast revolution.